Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered to experience the secret Lair lottery. Now, before we dive in, I just want to let you know I am feeling under the weather, so if my voice is scratchy or weird, sorry about that, just trying to move forward. And I thought a fun thing to do today would be to take my turn on the merry-go-round because you may or may not know this, but the Phyrexian secret Lair that recently came out with this awesome Phyrexian text. I'm a huge fan of Phyrexia. Anyways, this secret Lair came out, and in 100 of these secret layers in particular, there is a special numbered super duper rare lottery card that I would very much like to get. And we also have another secret layer, I won't show you the name yet, we'll keep that one a secret, which these secret layers have a random chance of having the normally inserted bonus card or special schematic or other lottery style cards. So we will crack that one after we get into the big, juicy Phyrexian one. And this is my first time opening up this new secret layer design. Oh, look at that. Thank you for being a part of Secret Lair. So, already, I can say, I like the fact that there is reduced packaging. Look at that. Man, I love it. I love the whole Phyrexian vibe, dude. That is really cool. And at the end of 2022, we're going back to dealing with the Phyrexians, right? With Dominaria United, we got those hints in the Crimson Vow storyline. And then on top of that, do these flap open or do they slide? Okay, it's a slide. Okay, cool. So yeah, there you go. Not too shabby. This is actually half decently rugged for a cover too. I thought it would be like thinner and flimsier, but overall, pretty decent design for this packaging. But anyways, we're supposed to be seeing the Phyrexians show up in Dominaria. So we're talking about like the Brothers' War and all that good stuff and the Phyrexians. And here we have it. Now, did they put the bonus card? Oh, no, wait, you got to flip it over. Okay, well, let's take a look at the actual Phyrexians first, because I have to say, I'm super hyped about this, right? Like, the original storyline has the Phyrexians, I should say, starting out around Dominaria. Come on, man, let me get in here. And it's starting out in Dominaria, but then ultimately what happens is, because of Urza, the Phyrexians actually end up making their way over to Mirrodin and turning it into New Phyrexia. And that's where these Phyrexian praetors end up coming into play. So first of all, we've got Elish Norn, who's 7 mana for a 4/7. She's got Vigilance. She gives all your creatures +2/+2, and all your opponent's creatures -2/-2, which is absolutely amazing. I like the fact that all of these praetors have an interesting kind of symmetry, where they give to you an equal bonus they take away from your opponent, and that creates a massive disparity. Giving your guys +2/+2 and your opponent's -2/-2 is a difference of 4/4, which is insane and hard to overcome. And the artwork on Elish Norn is amazing. She looks so intimidating. Very cool. After that, we have Jin-Gitaxias, who is the brain mage representing the blue side of Phyrexia here. And if the camera seems to want to focus more on the playmat than the card. There we go. That seems to have fixed it. I am not a professional opener, my friends, and like I said, not feeling too great today. Actually, I'm sweating right now. Just don't drip it on the cards, brother. So yeah, this is 8 mana for a 5/4, and this has flash. When it comes in, basically, it makes it so that you draw 7 extra cards a turn, and it removes your opponent's hand size. So it goes, all your opponents have a maximum hand size of 0. So when you put this out, it's going to start feeding crazy amounts of cards into your hand, and at the end of each of your opponent's turn, they have to discard their entire hand. It is crazy. And the artwork is intense. This crazy, like, curved spine that he has here, and these elongated, spiky fingers. So amazing. Oh, then we've got Sheoldred Whispering One. Sheoldred has Swamp Walk, and brings a creature back from your graveyard each turn, and forces your opponent to sacrifice a creature each turn, which is amazing. 2 black and 5, and is 6/6 on top of that. Very, very solid. And shown with this crazy giant like aberration body that looks somewhat insectile, but this part here that is more humanoid can actually separate from this gigantic torso chunk here, and then has like a wispy spirit tail. That's pretty funky. Then we have Urabrask, who is 2 red and 3 for a 4/4, the smallest of the praetors. And this one says all your opponent's creatures come into play tapped, and all your creatures have haste. So, I mean, it is symmetrical in a way. It's not as obviously symmetrical as Elish Norn was, but it still does work in a way where all your creatures can swing in right away, and none of your opponent's creatures can swing in even if they have haste because they come into play tapped. So that works out and makes sense. And then finishing it off here, we have Vorinclex. Come on now. Come up and kiss the camera for Papa. There we go. We got Vorinclex. 2 green and 6 gets you a 7/6. This guy is a beast. And he doubles all of your mana production. All your lands produce an extra mana. And anytime your opponent taps a land for mana, it doesn't untap the next turn. Like, these praetors are all so absolutely dirty and amazing. Now, let us get in to the moment of reveal. Come on! And it is a swamp. All right. Well, I have to say, I'm not really unhappy because this is a phyrexianized swamp with the phyrexian text here up at the name of the card and the type line and everything. So, as a fan of Phyrexia, I can't really complain about that. Although, I mean, let's be real. The greediest part of my brain is like, oh no, man, I really wanted that. But that's fine. Like I said, we have one more secret lair to take a look at today, my friends. And it is Saturday Morning Dungeons and Dragons Foil Edition. All right. So, same kind of deal. Thank you for being a part of Secret Lair. Pull that sucker out here. Ooh. All right, Saturday Morning D&D, looking good. I do like these smaller boxes a lot more. Okay, so obviously we're going to save the bonus card as the final lottery reveal. Oh, wow. This is... You don't want to pull too hard. Wow. Okay. Herculean strength here. All right. All right. Whoa, careful. Don't turn off the recording accidentally putting that over there, dum-dum. All right. I'm good at this. Unbreakable formation. Unbreakable packaging. I'm just going to hold it up here so I can fumble with it less on the camera so I can maintain my magical prowess and everyone will be impressed with me so that I won't cry deep into the night. All right. All right. The sickness is making my brain silly. Okay. Unbreakable formation. 1 white and 2 for an instant. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. It's not too shabby a card, right? I mean, making your guys so that they can't be destroyed for a turn, and then pumping and swinging with them doesn't feel too shabby. The artwork, if you're not familiar with it, is from the old school Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, which I can now say I've watched every single episode of. I thought it was hilarious because sometimes I forget these people's names. Is that Diana? That's Eric, right? So she's got at first what I thought was like a quarterstaff, but she can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. At first I thought it wasn't that great a magical item, but she can use it to deflect things, and it just kind of changes into what she needs it to be. So you can see her defending Eric here. Then we've got Whir of Invention. All right, you got Presto. 3 blue and X for an instant. Improvise, and Improvise is tap artifacts to reduce the casting cost by 1 for each artifact you tap. And you search your library for an artifact card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And it says, Magic Hat, I'm gonna be frank. What we need now is a 20-ton tank. And that is the silly kind of nonsense that happened with this hat. His hat, like most of the time, didn't help, but in the end, ultimately would help. I do like the artwork here, showing him surrounded by a bunch of different crazy objects. Then we've got Hero's Downfall. This card has totally been downgraded to being like uncommon level, right? We saw that specifically with Innistrad Crimson Vow. So 2 black and 1, destroy target creature, planeswalker at instant speed. You can see Venger here reaching out. It says, this is the end for all of you. But this is like a kid's cartoon, right? So Venger was never actually effectual. But I do like the artwork showing him here over the crystal ball with the party running along, man. The show is fun. It really is. Then we've got Impact Tremors. 1 red and 1 for an enchantment that says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremor deals 1 damage to each opponent. The flavor text says, the only chance we have of getting out of this world is if we take care of Venger once and for all. And you can see Bobby slamming down with this magic club. This is the invisibility cloak. The funny thing about the girl with the invisibility cloak is she's constantly taking it off so we, the audience, can see that she's there. But she does it in really strategically awful times, which makes you go, what are you doing? But man, look at the lightning. Look at the way the lightning looks, especially up here in the left. That's pretty cool looking. All right, and then we have Primal Vigor, 1 green and 4 for an enchantment. If 1 or more tokens will be created, twice that many tokens are created instead. And if 1 or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature, twice that many +1/+1 counters are put on that creature instead. So obviously a very, very sweet enchantment. The artwork shows, what is his name again? I always forget this dude's name. And his little like bullywogs, and they're coming at you with the spears and stuff. This show was just silly fun. And then we've got Commander Sphere with the Dungeon Master on it. The Dungeon Master who's just like, hey, I know I kind of like forced you children into this world, but here's the thing. I'm a bad father, and I need you to deal with my child who's causing all kinds of problems. And ultimately, I'll keep spiking the wheel, so you're never really fully able to escape this world. Like, come on, dude. So, Commander Sphere is 3 mana for an artifact that says tap, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity, sacrifice Commander Sphere, draw a card, and the flavor text says the fate of 1 is shared by all. Yeah, thanks to you, Dungeon Master. Why'd you force them to come here? Let's be real though, this artwork is awesome. The Dungeon Master holding this kind of like glowing orb in front of the waterfall is really, really sweet. All right, so there's the bonus card as well, and then we can quickly, because I know there's some people who are interested about what goes into my cube, so we can go through quickly, and I'll show you what I'll be putting into my cube as well. So, bonus reveal, 3, 2, 1, and it is, all right, it is the actual normal, we didn't win the lottery, guys. So this is Crash Through, 1 red for a sorcery, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn, draw a card. The flavor text says, Uni, I knew you'd come back. And I'm like, I'm just reading this quote from Bobby, and my brain's just like playing the noise of the unicorn in my head. And this little thing, just the whole time in the show, it keeps cutting to this guy, and he goes, It's like, I don't know if I liked him as a kid or whatever, but as an adult, I can't stand Uni, okay? Like, it's such a weird card to choose, like, for the Secret Lair as the bonus card, too, because, let's be real, Crash Through is not a super exciting card. Maybe I should have done these in the opposite order and ended with the Phyrexian one, because this is a disappointing bonus card. But anyways, let's go back through it, and we'll talk about what's going to go into the cube and what won't, all right? So, Crash Through will not be making it into the cube. It's not solid enough. Commander Sphere won't be making it in because there's no commander color identity. Primal Vigor is definitely going in because the doubling effect from this is absolutely insane. Impact Tremors is actually one. I guess there's 3 categories. Impact Tremors isn't an immediate no, but I'm not sure if the power level of it is going to be sufficient for the cube, so that's going to go in the maybe pile. Hero's Downfall is an absolute yes because removal is in short supply. Whir of Invention is a maybe because I haven't 100% decided on the search effects aspect. Unbreakable Formation is an absolute yes. Obviously, when it comes to things like the Swamp, who cares? Like, it's not, I don't put basic lands in there, so that's irrelevant. And then we've got the 5 Praetors. So Vorinclex, doubling your mana, shutting down your opponent's land, definitely a yes. Urabrask saying, hey, every creature you have has haste, and your opponent's creature come to play tapped, absolute yes. Sheoldred saying, hey, I'll bring back one of your guys every turn and get rid of one of your opponent's creatures every turn. Absolute yes. Ginge attacks this is so broken in the cube that is an auto, like 100% must include. The fact that it lets you draw 7 cards, like card draw is so incredibly powerful in this particular format. And making your opponent pitch their entire hand, it's just so over the top that that's an auto include. And then Elish Norn as well is an auto include because she's basically like functions as a board wipe half the time. And even if she doesn't board wipe, if your opponent has a 3/3 out and you have a 1/1 out, now all of a sudden you have a 3/3 and they have a 1/1, right? Because the differential's there. So, and we're obviously talking for my specific cube, we are not talking about a draft cube. Anyhow, this has been enjoyable for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'm going to go and get some rest because I could use it. So thanks for coming by, my friends. A big shout out to all my patrons for supporting my channel. And I will see you all in the next episode.